Hi, welcome to Tag Arcade. And in today's tutorial, we are going to do three things. The first thing is to destroy the enemy bullets so that we could free up memory. The second thing we're going to do is limit the player to only firing one bullet at a time. And the third thing we're going to do is create explosions in our scene. So if this tutorial helps you out, go to my website, www.tagarcade.com, and click on this button on the top right hand corner. So let's go ahead and go into Unity, and when you hit play, what's going to happen is you're going to see all the enemies firing a ton and ton of bullets. Or lots and lots of bullets. So let's look at this. Let's hit pause, and you see the bullets are just there. And it's never going to be destroyed. So eventually, if we let this run for a long time, the computer can typically run out of memory just to keep track of all these bullets. So let's free up some memory space by deleting our bullets that we don't need. So let's go ahead and stop. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create some sort of marker. So let's go ahead and create a new 3D object, a cube, and we're just going to call this, I don't know, destroy enemy bullets. Okay, so let's set that for 0, 0, 0 right now, just so I could see it in my scene. And let's look and go ahead and move it down. Actually, before I move it down, let's just make it a little bit wider. Not by much, just a little bit. And just sort of go down so that it's sort of out of view. Yeah, that's about good. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our enemy bullets and modify our script. Let's go ahead and go into here. So the first thing we want to do is we need to make a reference to that marker. So we're gonna say public transform, if I could spell transform, enemy bullet, actually not enemy, destroy enemy bullet marker. Okay, gonna hit file save, and now if we go to our enemy bullets, we should see enemy bullet marker, and let's try to drag and drop our object from our scene to the prefab. And unfortunately, we're not allowed to do this. So we're gonna go with plan B. Let's go ahead and when we instantiate this bullet, we're going to have it find where this marker is. So we're going to say destroy enemy bullet marker equals GameObject dot find. And what are we finding? I'm just going to go into here, go into my Unity scene, copy the words enemy or destroy enemy bullets, go back to my script, and paste that in. Dot transform. Okay, so we're going to do file save. And the one thing I want to do is make sure that our bullets are referencing that destroy enemy bullet marker. So after some bullets are created, we're going to hit pause. Let's go ahead and go down to our bullets. And if we look at destroy enemy bullets, we have our reference. And if we click on this name, it's going to show up right here. It's going to highlight which reference we're doing, which is, in this case, destroy enemy bullet. So, yay, that works. The next thing we're going to do is if this dot transform dot position dot z, okay, and the reason why we're putting z is because that's what we're tracking, the z position of this. So if the bullet goes past the z position, we are going to destroy it. So if it's less than destroy enemy bullet marker dot position dot z, then we're going to say destroy this dot GameObject. So make sure you put in destroy this dot GameObject. The reason being is if you actually just say destroy this, then all that will do is remove the bullet script from this game object. That means you still got the transform, the cube, the box collider, so on and so forth. So if you want to destroy the whole enemy bullet, and including all these components, you have to say destroy this.GameObject. So we're going to set file save. We're going to go, hit play, and let's see if any bullets can get past our marker. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. And you can see nothing can get past this marker. So as soon as it goes down, it's just getting destroyed. Wonderful. So now what we want to do is we want to restrict the player to only fire one bullet at a time. So let's go to our player sphere. Let's go to our player controller. And now let's make sure we can only fire one time and one time only. So we're going to see, where's our fire script? Oh, it's right here. So if you press the space bar, you're going to fire. So we're going to say if our bullet script and dot is fired equals to false, then we are going to fire our bullet. Okay. Now, unfortunately, bullet script here is in red. So why is it red? Well, unfortunately, we're trying to use the variable bullet script before it's even initialized. So it's initialized over here, and we're using it before it's initialized. So one way of doing it is we could copy these initializations, actually cut, and paste it over here. And that will get rid of the red letters. But you know what? I think I'm going to be referencing this a lot more. So rather than do it here, we are going to declare these variables up at the very top. And let's make these private. And we're going to do the same thing for our mesh renderer. So new copy and paste. And once again, we're going to say private. Now, since we did that, we're going to initialize these things in our start statement. So we're going to say bullet script equals bullet.getComponentBullet, and we're going to say bullet renderer equals bullet.getComponentMeshRenderer. So let's go ahead and delete our initializations here. And actually, we have to move this into our script down here. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of some spaces. And what? Why is that red? Yeah. Forgot my semicolon. I forgot my semicolon after I declared the mesh renderer bullet renderer. Okay, file save. And that should clear up my error message. There we go. So let's go ahead and hit play. And now if we shoot, I'm hitting the spacebar key and that bullet is still going and I cannot fire another bullet. Okay, that's good and all, but I want to be able to fire more than one bullet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my destroy enemy bullets. I am going to duplicate this. So duplicate. And I'm going to rename this to destroy player bullets. And I'm just going to move it up top till maybe it's out of view. There we go. So when we hit play, and I'm just going to look at my top scene. If I fire a bullet, I cannot fire anymore until it probably gets to there before I could fire again. Okay, so that is the intention. So let's go back to our player sphere, or not the player sphere, but to our player controller, and we're going to say over here, if bullet dot position dot z is greater than player marker. So let's go ahead and say public transform destroy player bullets. So copy you, paste you down here, dot position, dot z. Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn the bullet renderer to off. So bullet renderer dot enabled equals false. And we're going to make bullet script is fired to equals false as well. File save, hit play, and now we cannot fire anymore until, no, actually, we have a null reference. I forgot to reference our marker. So let's go ahead and go to player sphere. We have our destroy player bullets, and let's just go ahead and reference that. And now let's try this one more time, right? Third time's the charm. So we're going to fire. I can't fire anymore until this bullet gets to our marker and it gets destroyed. And now I could fire a second time. So that's exactly what I wanted. So now we want to go ahead and make things explode. So we're going to go ahead and go to, where's my import? We're going to go to assets, import, and we're going to import our particle system. The reason why we're importing our particle system is Unity actually has a built-in explosion for us that we're going to go ahead and use in our project. So let's go ahead and wait for Unity to import all this stuff. Okay, so now under standard assets, under particle systems, we have some prefabs, and we have our explosion for our computers or explosion mobile for our mobile devices. So let's go ahead and go into our player sphere, and we're just going to say, if this loads up, public transform explosion. File save, and let's go ahead into our player controller and reference our explosion. There we go. So now all we have to do is say instantiate explosion this dot position well, actually this dot transform dot position and quaternion dot identity. Okay, we're also going to copy you and paste you in here as well. File, save. So now, if we hit play and we move our player around, oh no, all these bullets, boom! I just got destroyed. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is make the enemies explode, right? So let's go ahead and do the exact same thing. Let's go into our destroy enemy. Let's go ahead and copy you and paste you up here. We're also going to copy our explosion script. Copy. And we're going to paste you over here as well. File save. And now, when we hit play, oh, actually, well, I just remembered I forgot to do something. We got a null reference because we forgot to reference our explosion. So let's go into our enemy script. Let's find our explosion. Let's go. Enemy type 1, explosion. Enemy type 2, come on, explosion. Get in there. Get in there. Enemy type 3, explosion. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, I almost got shot down. Boom, boom, boom! 3 enemies destroyed all in one shot. which I don't remember that happening in Space Invader. I think when we destroyed one enemy, it only destroyed that one enemy and not just all the enemies behind it. So let's go ahead and change that up a bit. So what do we want to do? Well, what I want to do is I want to create another script. Say public allow player to fire. And the whole point of this script is to allow my player to fire again. So you're thinking about how is this going to stop getting the bullets passed through all the other enemies. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. So public void allow player to fire. And now we're going to copy you and replace this too with our function. So the reason why this sort of stops it is because what we're going to do is we're going to make the bullet is fired to false, which would immediately stop the player from moving up. Then we should actually move the bullet back down where we don't really need it. So we're going to say bullet dot transform dot position dot z equals, let's say, -27. And I'm pulling 27 because where we destroy our enemy bullet, that's about -27 point whatever. So, okay, fine. My Mac is almost full. I get it. So we're going to do file save. And we're going to go back here to our project. And, okay, we got some error message. So we can't use, okay, so we can't modify our position directly. I have to temporarily store this in a value. So what does that mean? This means I have to say new vector 3. And we're going to say this, copy, paste, dot x, come on, x, paste, dot y, and we're going to say my z position, and I have to make sure I have an f. So we're going to say our position equals this. Okay, so now hopefully, do you go away? You went away. Wonderful. Come on, go away. So now what I have to do here is I need to be able to reference my player controller. So we're going to say public. Well, we'll say private. Why not? Private player controller. Player controller. Where my player controller equals GameObject dot find. Okay, and where's my player controller? My player controller is in my player sphere. Copy. Oops, paste. Dot get component. Player controller. And that should be it. So we're going to say, if there's an explosion, we're going to say player controller dot allowed to fire. File, save. So we're going to go hit play. And we're going to say, boom! Boom! And my players are, or not my players, but my enemies are still flying all over the place. So that is definitely a glitch that we will look into in our next tutorial. But we got our explosions happening. So if you like this tutorial, like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. And until next time, have fun and keep on creating games.